something trendy and something cool for 2021. So I want to go around the room really quick. I know a couple people have attended some workshops throughout this week. So I wanted to kind of tap into you to find out what are some things that you guys are learning that we can share right here as we start out our first session, or excuse me, our fourth session. So Donna, I know you've attended other workshops. What are some things that you're picking up from outside of our team and outside of our environment?
For business planning, a lot of us was saying to, calculate your expenses. Those are really important for business planning so that you're able to projectile in regards to your expenses. And so we've tapped into, at a part of your closing, introduce like 10% going to marketing, whatever X amount goes to where so that you're able to budget. And that goes with any business, right? So run it as a business wise. And then also is track your leads. Right now, a lot of us, we're always out there hustling, showing houses and all that. But at the end of the day, what's our conversion rate when we're taking those clients out there to do that? Are you able to convert them quickly or and then regards to appointments. And then secondly, another one that I learned was if it's not generating as business wise and you're able to hire somebody to do it because that your time is money, right? And so if it takes you X amount of times to do like a IG post or whatever, right? It takes you whatever to do. Hire somebody. There's so many free people out there that's like students that are willing and able that are focused in branding and marketing, and they're willing to like help you and say, hey, I want to help you do this. And so some of them are just doing like internships for their school because they have projects in college and like that. And so that's a great way to tap into that as well too. So I learned that this week.
Love that. Love that. Absolutely love that. And when we think about tracking, like we're going to get really, really granular with the release of Zillow Flex. We're already looking at all of the numbers behind the scene. We're looking at national numbers. We're looking at conversion rates, what average agents need to, how many leads agents need to convert in order to get into contracts. So there's going to be all these metrics and all of these numbers behind the scenes. And then we're going to help bring that to the forefront so you guys constantly know, okay, cool. I need to answer the phone more. I need to be on more appointments. I need to see X amount of people. I'm glad that you said that, Donna, because we're actually going to go into an exercise today that I learned from Tom Ferry that's based around the 8 equities. So I appreciate, excuse me, Donna, I appreciate you saying that because I think that's really, really important. Christina, there's something that you posted yesterday. I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, but Christina, I know that you've been doing tons of business planning and you're all over the place and you're in different workshops and different rooms. Are there a few things that you've picked up this week that you wanted to share with the team? Okay, we'll come back to Christina. Janita, how about for you? I know that you've been attending a couple things throughout the week. Is there anything that you picked up that you want to share with the team?
Sure. I hold on, getting my notes here. So yeah, the workshop with oh, I forget his name, Joey.
Joey
It was a business.
DeFedino.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that was really good. And as what Donna was talking about, tracking leads, how many appointments are you setting, just keeping track, because I know I need to be more diligent with that. Keeping track of expenses. It was just so much information. It just really opened up my eyes. So I took a lot of notes down on that. I'm going to implement that in my business. I did a branding workshop yesterday about social media and how to, because I talked to you a couple of days ago and I was telling you that I was having a problem with, just trying to find content. So that really helped me out a lot. It was a few things that she taught to help us. I don't know, have you heard of Ask the People?
No, I saw a lot of it yesterday on social.
Yeah, so you can go to a website and literally type in, like, let's say real estate, and it'll come up with all of this information and all the questions that people are asking about real estate. So you know what to talk about, you know what to post, just different content instead of posting the same thing. So, but I got a lot of different ideas from that as well. So
I love that. And when we think about that, and let's talk about this for a minute, because I think this is a really good subject, right? If you guys saw Kate Hudson's post earlier, she made a post about, what are things you can do as a new agent if you're looking at things to talk about. And so if you looked at her story, she kind of gave you like a game plan, like here's the things that you should be talking about. Here's the experiences that you should be talking about. And so what I encourage everyone to do and implore you to do is start to learn from your team and think about what we do in our business, how many angles and how many different conversation pieces there can be, whether it's about the transaction, whether it's getting the transaction, whether it's the process, whether it's the client, whether it's contractors, whether it's inspections, all these different avenues that we can really talk about and speak intelligently about because we're the ones out there experiencing it, right? And then being able to leverage what the team is doing, right? You see something cool that Donna posts, then be like, hey, I could do something like that. Or I like what Joaquin said, I want to share that to my story. So if you don't have tons of content that you're building on your own, start to leverage what the team is building, because there's 80 plus of us now, right? There's tons of ideas. So that, like, think about that. It's like, all right, in the morning, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on Instagram, and I'm going to start getting inspired from everything that I'm seeing from these real estate agents. And I'm going to make my own version of it and come correct with something that's cool and different. So I love how you're thinking, Janita, because this is a time to where we can just start growing. And, your social media can definitely, come up a couple notches. So I like the way that you're the good stuff.
Thank
Anything
you.
else? Christina, are you there? All right, so I saw something yesterday, and I want you guys to write this down, because I think that it was pretty cool. When we're thinking about planning, first off, planning your marketing strategy. Over this week, we have covered quite a few ideas about covering and planning for your marketing strategy, making sure that you have something that is on the calendar for the next 12 months. January, I'm sending out a Happy New Year. February, I'm sending a message of love because it's Valentine's Day. March, it's March, whatever the case is, like, map out your entire year marketing plan. And if it's from a budgetary reason, how many of you guys have your MailChimp set up right now? Please raise your hand or give me a reaction if you have your MailChimp set up. Okay, so I see a couple people. If you don't have a MailChimp,
Kind of.
Okay, so kind of, all right. So let this be a way to say, I'm not able to physically go knock on people's doors in a particular area or a particular farm. So think about this as my digital farm, right? I'm going to farm these 900 people that are in my database, and I'm going to send them out something every single month. Now, from the creation standpoint, we don't expect all of you guys to be Canva creators, creative designers, creative marketers. We have Julie and a whole department that's going to help create those pieces. The idea behind you guys is, what am I going to push out every single month for the rest of the year? I gave you guys 2 calendars, and you'll find that in the channel of the training and videos to give you some ideas. Play around with that, make your own, pick your launch dates, what you're going to do and how you're going to build that, but plan your marketing strategy for 2021. Start forming new healthy habits. And I don't think that we've talked enough about this, and we're going to go farther into this when we get into the 8 equities. And Dewey, thank you for really putting me on game with the 8 equities. When we start forming new healthy habits in our life, how does that ultimately affect who we are and how people view us? If you work out 5 days a week and you go to an appointment on Saturday, do you think you feel better? You think you look better? Right? And I think that that's going to build that confidence. If you sat the week eating bullshit and ate sugar and you didn't take care of yourself and you didn't run and you didn't do the things that you needed to do in your life, it's going to be affected in other areas. So starting to form healthy habits. Now, Christina, I wanted to turn it over to you because I called on you. I think you were just getting set up with your computer. I was asking for people that have attended other workshops, and as we're coming together in this think tank and sharing, what are some things that you have taken away from this week? And what does your shirt say? It says embrace what?
It says embrace tu cultura.
Oh, nice. Does it say Team Fast on the back?
No.
Oh,
But it's funny, I got a text from somebody today, and she's like, you just listed my house earlier and now it's already sold. So you were meant to be on this team. That's how fast it happened. So
how cool.
Anyways, so it kind of just rang in there. So yesterday I was on I'm so glad that Kenny shares all these different trainings. It's not just about us. So it provides us different avenues of growth and just to listen to different companies even, and mentors and colleagues, because Donna was on there, Janita was on there, and then of course our superstar Roxanne was on there, and Kenny was on there for a short time. But I just learned so much because one, Roxanne was transparent, which really allowed us to follow her flow. And then two, the KW program that they have really broke down every transaction and how to get to your goal. So I walked away from there like, I'm going to make a freaking $1 million. Like, that's how much juice was in that testimony that Roxanne put out there for us to absorb. So I can't say it any better that one, we have the best squad ever because Donna was on there doing her thing. And like, we like took over that whole meeting. Okay. They were like, Kenny, get your squad. But, you know, it
I was thinking I was going back to KW. I'm like, oh, hell to the no to that.
just really like, it just helped settle everything in and just really being able to grab stuff from everyone that surrounds you. And he's right, you know, like your top, 10 people that surround you, if like, they should be bigger and better than you or doing something different because you're going to continuously like, it's like contagious. Like everyone drink the Kool-Aid, please, because that's where we all need to be. But it's just valuable to just keep learning. I mean, there's not enough hours in a day to sometimes apply it, but you can't say you didn't know if you didn't put yourself out there.
Totally. Some plan is better than no freaking plan at all, right? It's like if you don't come out of this week and you don't walk into 2021 with some plan, then we haven't done a good enough job, right? We haven't done a good enough job to giving you guys ideas and resources and think tanks. You should come out of this with like, okay, got some stuff from Kenny, got some stuff from Elias, got some stuff from KW, got some stuff from this girl on Facebook or on Instagram. Now I'm just going to start putting it into my own version, right? What is going to do and what's going to work for me? What's going to motivate me? So to talk a little bit more about some of the things that I saw on Instagram yesterday was mapping out content for 90 days, right? I know for a lot of us that's hard, but like think about everything that you guys are doing, whether it's attracting agents, telling them about the team, telling them about the journey. If I was an agent and I had such a great team, shit, I'd be doing an agent spotlight of my own every week. Hey, I'm doing a, brothers and sisters, fellowship or whatever I call it. Like I'm tapping into my team and I want to interview them. Christine, I want to come to you first and like, hey, let's get on a quick live on Instagram and like, let's talk about our team journey together, right? I'm starting to do that starting next week, or excuse me, starting tomorrow. I'm going to be doing my first live with Walter. And we're going to be on Instagram. We're going to talk about his journey and how he got himself into contract. So I want you guys to start thinking about all the content pieces that you can be creating. And like we said yesterday, if you weren't on, take the freaking chance. Like, who cares? Like, Melody's going to launch a vlog. And I told her, like, let's get that out there. Let's start interviewing. Let's start talking to people. Let's start documenting this. And to think, like, if we have 40,000 on an average followers amongst all of our team members, and we get in the habit of, sharing like we do right now, think how many eyes are going to be on this one piece of content. And you know what I think about it? I think about that guy Dogface that had the, ocean spray on the skateboard. One video literally changed his life. Like if you watch that video, dude broke down, rode his skateboard home, and had some cranberry juice and played Fleetwood Mac. Look where the dude is now. The dude is coming up. Yeah, Kevin just bought his first house, doing stuff for his family, all kinds of weed sponsorships. And like the dude has came up from one video, right? You don't know what it's going to be that's going to have a huge impact. You don't know what it's going to take over time, but hey, at least get some stuff out there. Like Kenny, he used to have a GoPro and he was like the GoPro agent. He would have his GoPro on everywhere and like started like documenting his journey before realtors were even documenting their journey. And look where he is now, right? So start thinking about what your content's going to be over the next few months and what message do you want to say? I know there's been, Joaquin is on, he's like, I want to talk to veterans. I want to be able to, speak to my Latino community. He's like, I want to do some presentations in Spanish. I want to help out the Latino community. All these things that we could be doing. So start thinking about the content that you could be building over the next 90 days. Obviously set your goals. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, it's funny you mentioned that. So this morning, I was thinking about just doing like live, just giving a call in the morning, like just pick any one of my teammates and just jump on Instagram live. Like, yeah, we want a little bit of a like, hey, 10 minutes, I'm calling you. But it's kind of like super candid. Like, what are you doing right now? Well, guess what? Like the highlight of my day today, Christina, is I'm going to go check out this property. These are the issues, but like, hey, my clients are expert. Just like a 10-15 minute little, so people just see us talking. People see us like, this is real estate, not selling sunset. It's real estate. We're in our car, we're getting coffee, we're getting the kids, we're getting the dog, and we're at property, showing property. I don't know.
I love that, right? It's like a day in the life. It's like, all right, girl, what do you got on your calendar today? All right, well, I have this, that. I have inspections. I got to get the kids at 2. I got to come back. I got to drop this off. Cool. And then I got a Zoom meeting at 5 o'clock today. Like, that's cool, right? You know why, Christina? Nobody else is doing that, right? Hey guys, like, what are we doing? Hey, Dewey, what do we got going on today? I just did this, just picked up this. I'm driving here. I got inspections. Like, those types of conversations are dope, Christina. And I love that idea. I absolutely love it. So then if that's an idea, like, put an action plan behind it. Like, okay, I'm going to choose this. We're going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to pick the people that I want to just do a quick conversation with, and I'm going to launch it. And I don't care how many people are on my live, because I'm going to store that. I'm going to blast that on my channel and people can watch it later.
Yeah, exactly.
Good shit. Really, really good shit. I love that. I love that. Great stuff. So building out your content, eliminate stuff that doesn't work for you. And you guys, I love this. We talked about this a couple weeks ago in our prep, and as we go forward, I want you guys to write this down somewhere. And obviously, we don't have to do this now, but what are the things that I'm going to start doing? What are the things that I'm going to stop doing? And what are the things that I'm going to continue doing? Right? So let's talk about this. And some of this shit's going to be a gut check for a lot of us, right? If I was to go around the room, let's just be brutally honest, while we're in this environment, let's just make sure that we're here, you know, to be transparent with each other. If there was something that you could eliminate in your career right now that is not truly serving your greater purpose of your success, what would that be? Does anybody want to share and be completely transparent with us? If you could eliminate one thing that is not serving you in this real estate community, in this real estate world, what would that be?
Stop caring about what other people think of me so much and just do my own thing.
Okay. Say that one more time.
Stop caring about what other people think of me and just start doing my own thing.
Hell yes. Hold on. I'm writing the note. Because I think hashtag literally hashtag literally stop caring what the hell people think, right? And I'm going to be transparent, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I had a conversation with Melody a couple months back. She's like, I come from this old school style of real estate in Contra Costa County, right? I come from this area, you know, in Walnut Creek, affluent community, you know, people wear the, you know, certain size ring, they drive the certain style car, they hang out at the same social circles. I need to have this, I need to be that. And there was this sense of, in her mind, like almost like conformity. I'm like, nobody freaking cares, right? It's like, who cares? Like, dare to be different, right? Dare to be whoever the heck you want to be, because that's what's real and that's what sells. And so I think Melody was like, well, yeah, you're fucking right. Like, I don't need to, like, I don't know if Melody would have cussed on a Zoom call 6 months ago, but now I hear her on a Zoom call and she's just a little bit more laid back and she's a little bit more herself. And so I love that. So let's go around the room. Let's hear from anybody else. What is something that you can eliminate that doesn't serve you right now in the real estate game? And feel free to share. And thank you for your transparency, Melody. And don't be shy. Come on. Who is that? Mauricio?
What's up?
Okay.
I would say second guessing myself. I second guess myself a lot. So before like making a call, sometimes to a client, I just get a little nervous just because I feel like maybe they don't want to hear from me. So you just get in this mind of just constantly second guessing yourself. So I would like to get out of that. Like just doing what I need to do.
Dude, do you like to drive fast?
Somewhat, yeah. I'm not like crazy, but I do drive above the speed limit.
So I know Melody likes to drive. I've seen her drive. Here's the thing, man. I love driving fast. I went from a WRX to the Challenger to my new car. When driving fast on the freeway, there's no second guessing. If you're mobbing, you're dipping, and and I'm not just saying racing. I'm saying when you're mobbing, right, and you're having some fun in your car, you can't take a second to second guess, right? If I'm going to dip in front of that car and I'm going to dip in front of that car and I'm going to downshift and I'm going to go, like there's no second guessing it, right? It's the same with snowboarding, right? When I'm snowboarding, you pick a lane and you say, you know what, I have to make that turn right there. If I don't make that turn, something can happen. So you have to think about it this way. When I'm driving in a car, I have to make split minute decisions, split second decisions, and I have to never second guess myself. If you're driving, you make that split second, doubt of yourself, what can happen, right? So you have to think about it this way, man. I'm going to go in and I'm just going to believe, and I'm going to make these turns when I need to. And I'm not going to second guess myself, because Mauricio, I've seen you grow so much because I was with you at the early stages of climb, and you got game, you have skills, you have great communication skills, and you just have this like spirit about you and a smile that people love. Don't ever forget that people absolutely love you. And how do you equate that? Look at your fucking success, right? You went from 2 deals last year to quadrupling your business this year. People really, really like you, Mauricio. So don't forget that, man. People really, really like who you are. And I'm speaking from this. I like who you are. I think you're a great person, man. So, all right. So, and two, like when you're calling people, it's like, sometimes we forget, like, be interested instead of being interesting, right? A lot of times, like, oh, we're cool, we're this, we're that. It's like, be interesting or interested in who they are and what's going on in their world, right? So thank you for the transparency, Mauricio. Who else? Who else has something that right now that they can eliminate that does not serve their higher purpose in real estate?
For me personally, I feel like I find myself playing catch up. And I think that, can you guys hear me?
Totally, man. Loud and clear.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, man, I feel like I find myself playing catch up. I think it's probably because I'm still settling with, the whole transaction from, coming in from a different brokerage, trying to establish all the systems in place. Because obviously there's like a, back office aspect of it, of course, right? Doing the small detail stuff. There's also the marketing aspect that I have to really focus on as well. But that's kind of, I think that's more mental, right? And I have to kind of just focus on a task, a list of things that I have to kind of narrow it down to, and just focus on that. But I know I've always been like that, though. I'm always playing catch up, and I'm always go. Sometimes I feel like there's not enough hours in the day, right? And that post you guys put up yesterday talking about, hey man, sometimes you gotta chill out, relax, low recovery mode. I think that's really helpful. It kind of took a little bit of that edge off. But yeah, that's something that I definitely got to work on.
Yeah, and I love that. And let me read that quote for the people that didn't see it. It says, destroy the idea that you have to destroy the idea that you have to be constantly working or grinding in order to be successful. Embrace the concept that rest, recovery, reflection are essential in parts of the progress towards a successful and happy life. Like, let that sink in for a minute, because I know you guys are all hustlers, and I know so many of us burn the candle at both ends. And if I was going to say and embrace something that I feel doesn't bring me what I need in this business, I think that's the one thing too for me. It's like being able to shut off, right? There's times where it's like the phone rings, like having some non-negotiable time. I think that's super important, because by a show of hands, how many of us have children, right? The last thing I want to do is be the dude at the park that is, the kids are playing, oh yeah, Silas, that's good job, buddy. And I'm scrolling or I'm answering emails. Like, I want to be able to be present, right? I think it's so hard for us sometimes to truly embrace being present. But if your client can't wait an hour and a half, then we're doing things wrong in this business, right? So many times where it's yes. But in this business, what there is power in is being able to say no. Right? I'm not available until after 2 o'clock, but I'll make sure to contact you then. Cool, right? So it's okay to be able to say no. So let's hear from one other person. If there was one thing that you can eliminate that is not serving you in your real estate life, what would that be? Let's hear from one other person. Please don't be shy.
Mine is time management.
Okay.
Because again, my organization. But if I could just, I could admit I'm not one that's like squirrel and I'm gone. It's like something better, it's just everything needs my attention right now. So, going back to your no right now that you just said, You know, it's like when I call you, I'm like, you better answer. Like, I want an answer right now. Like, it's hard for me. Like, I'll go to the next person. You don't answer? Okay, the next one, the next one. Somebody's going to answer my call.
I've heard.
Learning to respect boundaries, learning to give myself those boundaries as well, because it's time management, you know?
Totally. No, I really, really appreciate that. And it says, mine is failing to plan my day a night before, it turns into feeling overwhelmed the next day, right? I have people when we get on a Zoom call and maybe I'm like changing screens and they see the calendar, they're like, oh my God, that's all your stuff on the calendar. I'm like, yeah, but if I didn't have that on the calendar, think of how much of a mess I would fucking be, right? I need to have that to keep me in alignment. Like this morning, I woke up, it was 6:30. Kenny and I had a 7 o'clock Zoom call. I was like, John, you do the talking, bro. I haven't even had my coffee, but it's just like everything is scheduled throughout the day. We'll be on Zoom sometimes for 12 hours a day, but it's all scheduled. It's all set in place. So it's like, we have to make sure, Ryan, I love that you said that, to take that time to schedule everything, to plan everything, because we're only human and things will slip through the cracks. And so anybody else want to speak on that, or should we move on?
I think we
Yeah,
all
I'd like to say
share the
something.
same.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in. I think we all share the same thing as like, don't be so accessible to everyone's needs when you're able to plan it out. And so this goes back to some people, I'm hearing their voice message and say, you know what, I'm not available, but I'll be returning phone calls from 3 to 4 or whatever, so that they know that, hey, she's going to be returning my phone call. So I just leave that there instead of like, I need to pick this up. I think that's
Totally. Yep, absolutely. And what were you going to say, Brian?
Yeah, so for me, I'd have to say it's being open to asking for help. It's something that coming from my last team, I was always on my own, trying to figure things out on my own. So I'm kind of used to just always doing that. And I think coming onto this team is just trying to remember that everyone here is willing to help me and to not to be afraid to ask for help too.
Totally. Brian, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have an older sister, yeah.
Okay. How much older?
2 years.
Okay. So did she help you out with a lot of stuff growing up, or did she say, no, you're my little brother, I'm not helping you with anything?
Yeah, she wouldn't help me.
All right. So part of you, so like rooted in you, part of that is like, you had to figure it out on your own, right? You knew you had
Right.
something that you could probably ask for, but she was probably like I have a big sister who was like snotty, didn't want to help. So know that your brothers and sisters on this team, we're here to help you and we're down to support you, man, any way that we can. So really good stuff. And Donna, you had said it, that we're all kind of the same. How many of us have ever sacrificed a workout or sacrificed multiple days of workout because we have been busy? Has that happened to anybody? It's happened to a lot of us, right? So Martha, so Brian put on there, I know it's happened for me, but if we don't consistently work out and exercise, like what effect is that going to have, right? So it's like, if I can't schedule a time to just 1 hour to go work out, to sweat, to detox, to just do what I need to do to like, to set my mind or set my mind right, it's like I'm not serving my clients or my family in the best way, right? So it's like we shouldn't put that on the back burner. And I know it happens to the best of us, right? Happens to me. And so Carmen, and I know Carmen works out, religiously. So you said it happens to you as well, Carmen? Okay, we'll come back to Carmen.
Sorry, I had a sandwich in my mouth. Yes, it does.
All right. So for you, is it waking up out an hour earlier in the day? Like, how do you fit it in? Because it seems like that's a constant in your life. How do you make it in?
And just make it a priority. And, like anything, when you do it so often, it becomes kind of a habit. So for me, it's like on days when I don't work out, it's just like my day doesn't go the same. Like I still try to get things done, but I feel like I'm not as, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm as active or as, getting things done as efficiently. There you go. Efficient as I would want to be.
Yeah. It's like, I don't feel as sharp, right? I just don't feel as crisp, and especially if you ate something that had a lot of, salt or was heavy, it was pasta, it's just like, damn, I feel tired, right? Last thing I want to do is feel tired throughout the day. I got a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. So I want to make sure that that's a big part of my life. So appreciate you sharing that, Carmen. Kenny, anything you want to share on this, bud?
I just stepped in.
Oh, we were talking about healthy lifestyles, and we were talking about if there was one thing we could eliminate.
I'm
If
not a
that's-
very healthy person, but I try to like time my meals. Like I try to eat mostly vegan stuff in the morning, nothing heavy, less carbs. And night is when I might like, I'm cutting back meat too, but it's only at night I would actually eat meat and certain things. I have one of this by my bedside. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I drink it. By the morning, it's done. So every night, literally when I'm sleeping, I kill one of these by morning. So it just keeps me powered through the day. That's mostly it. Electrolytes by 3-4 o'clock. Just power that in. Take some Thrive pills in the morning. I used to do a patch with Thrive. Like I haven't done that lately.
Yeah, and then Dewey, how about for you, my man? I know that you've been super active. Is there some non-negotiable times for you for working out, and like how important has that been for you? I think Dewey's delivering hoodies right now. All right, so we're gonna shift.
Oh, hey, Ross. I just stopped by the office. We just installed the key card at the left of the front of the door, so anyone that needs to access the office can go in anytime through the Supra.
Yes. Awesome. So no more posting in Slack, hey, is anyone in the office? And somebody let me in. Kenny, can you ride your scooter down here and let me into the office? Anybody in Oakland? So
that's what I just did. I just rode my scooter down there and installed it and came back.
right. So problem solved, you guys. Problem solved. So let's do this. I want to shift gears for a little bit, and I want to talk about something that has been going around quite a bit lately, and it is these 8 equities. You'll hear it 8 equities. You'll hear it 7 equities from Kevion, but I think that it's really important to start looking at your life and looking at your business in these categories. So whether it's 7 or whether it's 8, whoever you've heard it from, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post this wheel in our Slack channel once we're done. But I want you to make sure that you use it as a working a worksheet and start making some really great notes on this. It says this exercise is going to force you to stop and think about the various areas of your life. And we're not just talking about business, we're talking about omni, everything that is all encompassing in your life. Where are you excelling at right now? Where are you falling short? And what is truly important to you in your life? And like I said earlier, some of this is going to be a gut check for you, and good. Right? This is not always rainbows and butterflies. It's about everything that is possibly good in our business. We all have our weaknesses, right? We all have areas of improvement, things that we could work on to be better human beings, to be better parents, to be better business people, to be better partners, to be better, family members. There's all kinds of areas in our life where we can continuously get better. So I don't believe in just getting better in business. I believe that there's things behind the scenes that I need to do in order to be better for you guys. Like I need to sleep right. I need to exercise. I need to, express gratitude. I need to spend great time with my lady. There's some things I need to do, feel better about myself in order to give the best version of Elias to the public. So let's go through some of these answers, and I want you guys to write this down. You don't have to answer this question now, but I want you to get really crystal clear with this. Write out what your answers are. In my life, if my life was as good as it could possibly be in 2021, I would. And I want you to think about that. If my life was as good as it possibly can be in 2021, I would. And I want you guys to write down your answers, and feel free offline to share your answers with me. When we look at what our 8 equities of life are, Dewey has it as 7 and I have it as 8, but the idea is to start really looking at where you are right now and look at this chart to say, what are the areas of my life that I'm doing really, really good at, right? Physically, 1 to 10, how am I doing physically? How do I look? How often am I working out? How vibrant do I feel? How much vitality do I have? Am I sleeping enough? When I look in the mirror, do I feel like I look really good? Like, where am I going to rate myself physically? Family. How much time am I spending with my family? How much time am I sharing with my family, giving to my family? Vacationing, obviously we can't do much of that, but am I following or am I watching my family on Instagram and Facebook and commenting on things and saying, oh, I'm a part of everyone's life? Or am I actually calling them? For the people that do have family close by, I envy you, because all of my family is in Southern California. For me, this year, I was able to, just a couple of weeks ago, I was able to take my mom up to wine country, and we rented this 10,000 square foot, literally like a mansion on on a vineyard, and I felt so good about being able to do that for my mom. But now I'm like, I need to do that more. I need to spend more time with my family and more time with the people that I love, because I don't have anybody up here. It's just my work family and Jen and her daughter. So I need to make more time for my family, even as far as they are. Income and wealth, right? Some of you have absolutely crushed your year. And this might be an area where you're truly, truly prevailing in your life right now. So I want you to start writing down like some notes, my income and wealth, how I've done, ranking yourself, so on and so forth. My career, when I look at what my career path has done and how I've grown and what I've learned in this business, right? If I can rank where I'm at right now in my career, what would I give myself on a scale from 1 to 10? And just be real with yourself. Like, what are some things that I've accomplished and how have I grown and what are things that I've worked on to really see, am I in the position that I've wanted to be at for a long time in my career? Mindset and attitude. You guys, check up from the neck up. I want you to think about your mindset and attitude. How much time am I spending really working on what my mindset is, right? Tony Robbins says this, and I learned this a long time ago. Peak states don't just arrive. You got to demand that of yourself. You got to be able to, in an instant, put yourself into a positive mindset. You cannot have carryover energy. If I'm working in a litigious situation and it's, intense and it's draining of my energy, and then I go right into being a dad and trying to be loving, or if I go right into making phone calls and prospecting calls, I'm taking that same energy into different scenarios. I need to release, let go, reset, and focus again. So mindset and attitude is something that a lot of us take for granted, and we don't spend enough time on that. Social and fun. Our social lives probably suck right now, right? Because we're not able to do a lot of the things that we've normally done that bring us a lot of joy, whether it's going out to eat. I know Jen's a foodie. She loves going and eating and just sitting there and conversing, socializing, going out to events and networking events. So it's like, start putting some notes in the social and the fun category. Or, what are the things that you've done to supplement that fun? Are you doing cool Zoom calls? Are you guys doing virtual happy hours? Whatever the case is, start to make a list of those things. Spiritual. Now, I'm not talking about religious. I'm talking about spiritual, whatever it is that pulls you, your higher power, energy, whatever that is for you. How much time are you focusing on that? If you are into religion and church is now shifted to online, are you attending that? Are you involving yourself? Are you spending time to meditate, to get clear with your emotions and your thoughts and getting centered? Are you truly spending time on your spiritual part of your life? Or are you consumed with busy, 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 busy? Contribution. What am I giving back to, the community? I love what Martha put the other day in Slack. She's doing this event. We're giving away I think it was shirts or sweaters or something like that. And she also said, hey, I'm Mexican and we give away our stuff. So she's like, I'm giving away my own old phone. I'm sending it down to Mexico to family members so a cousin could get it, so on and so forth. So start thinking about your life and how you can contribute in a bigger way. And I want you to look at this. Obviously, I'm going to give you guys this link. You could find it on tomferry.com as well. But I want you to start really looking at the 8 equities of your life. Dewey, are you there? Do you have a quick second? Because I know you were driving a second ago.
Yeah.
So Dewey, being somebody that is kind of practices 7 equities, I know they're probably a little bit different. Can you explain to us what this means to you and how you have used this in your career?
So in the beginning of the year, which, every time there's business planning, I pull this back out and I'm like, all right, I'm going to stick to this. So Kevion, I don't know who was on that call this morning, but before I got into real estate, Kenny was like, go listen to the podcast. And Kevion was one of the people I found. And I listened to literally every one of his podcasts and they're that good. It's all about mindset. And so he says how he wakes up, sits down, writes down his affirmations, and then, speaks it into the world on what he's grateful for. And then, reflects on, again, the 7 or 8 equities of life, and then goes about his day just so that he's reminded of, what he's working towards. And just clear mindset for the day. I was, jotting down everything every single day, but, I fell off of that and I need to get back on it. And so, business planning, good way to bring it back up. So it's been a long while since I've touched it.
So here's the thing, you guys, I gratitude. I remember when gratitude was something that wasn't as mainstream as it is now, right? There's so many people that are out there talking about gratitude, but there's few people that are truly living in gratitude. I think Kevion is a great example. When I worked at another sales position, one of my mentors, who's one of my best friends, she said, before we do anything, no training, we're not talking about our deals, we're not talking about our sales for the week. I want everyone to spend the next 10 minutes and write their gratitude list, right? So we would sit there and write a gratitude list. We're gonna ask you guys a question. What is the power behind writing a gratitude list? Why do so many experts say write a gratitude list? Does anybody know what's behind that and how to unpack that? Why do people say write a gratitude list? Anybody want to share with me? All right, Carmen, let's hear it. Speak on it, girl.
Okay, sorry. That hits home for me. In fact, this morning I had a meeting with Jack at the Jack London office, and I was telling him, because he was wanting to know, like, about my farming and all that other good stuff. And so one thing I kind of wanted to point out to him was like, okay, that's all good and everything, but like, where's your mind at? Like, what are your goals? And like, are you writing down every day and like consistently looking at what it is that you're trying to achieve? Because I mean, I know for me, and I shared a personal experience that I'm happy to share with you guys, is that, I just, of course, totaled my car. But before that, my Lexus was like my dream car. It's black on black. And I was super proud of it when I went and I bought it off the lot. Like, it was a really big achievement for me as a single mom to be able to go and do that for myself. And I went and I did it, and then like, what was it? Like maybe a couple months afterwards, I'm cleaning out my room and I found some index cards, and they were, things that I wanted to achieve. And I had written them down as if they were already manifested. And one of the things was, I drive a Lexus black on black GS 300, and it ended up being 350, which was better. But my point was just that I was always looking at it and I was always writing it down. And so, yeah, just to say that, yeah, that does work, because, you write down these things and you're constantly looking at them. And another thing too is when you're writing these things down, really feel like you've already got them. Like for me, it was like, man, and even as I'm sitting here sharing this with you guys, it gives me chills, because I would get so excited. And even as I would read it, like to myself, I'd envision myself with my window down and my music playing super loud and my kids in the back. And, to have it happen, it's just, I know that I manifested that for myself. So there's no doubt in my mind that, all of us, if we really put our hearts and, your efforts and your mind, and, you get your mind right and do that, write it down, look at it consistently, that, there's nothing that we can't do.
God, I love that, Carmen. I absolutely love that. So like she said, the science behind it.
I have a quick random tip too. I forgot where I learned is that, but your password to your accounts is really important, because maybe you want to put in something that one of your wants and desires into your password. For you guys that are my team, like I use some generic password for stuff that isn't important, but I have. But just give you an idea that day when you're typing it down, you have to think about it. So it might be Lexus GS, capital G, lowercase s 350 exclamation mark or something.
Totally. No, I think that's a great idea. You guys, when we think about, why gratitude lists is so important, is because it changes your psychology. What I mean by that is that if you're going through hard shit in your life, if it's a tough day, if you haven't gotten into escrow, if you've just had a challenge in your life, whatever hard is going on in your life, if you spend 10 minutes in the morning writing down your gratitude list, your mind's going to switch into what is called your neocortex. The neocortex is where your mind is able to access thoughts and feelings, and then you can align with that. If we're in our reptilian mind, which means our fight or flight, which means that we're angry, we're upset, we're not, hopeful, then that's how we're going to operate throughout the day, right? I'm like, ugh, I'm resentful, I'm having a bad fucking day. Same day, different shit. You'll never hear me say that, right? I know I could instantly put myself in a position of gratitude because I'm aware. You guys have to be aware, and you have to, if you don't know exactly what you're grateful for, spend that time, write it all out, put it somewhere that you can see it, and remind yourself, because no matter what is happening in your guys' lives, we all have something great to be excited and grateful for. I have a buddy, his name is Jersey Tom. And I might have told you guys this story again, but I think it's important. So my buddy Jersey Tom, when he was in his late 30s, started getting some pain in his neck. And it was really, really bad. He went to the hospital. Within 24 hours, he was a quadriplegic. He had cancer, that wrapped around the top part of his spine, and within 24 hours left him to be a complete quadriplegic. And the doctor said, this is your life. You're never going to come out of it. You're never going to stand. You're never going to walk. You're never going to hug your children. This is going to be your life. So I want you to prepare mentally for this. So he said, I had a choice. I could either prepare mentally that this was going to be my demise and this was going to be my future, or I was going to say, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to walk again. I'm going to come out of this and I'm going to believe, right? So to fast forward, one day he started getting feeling in his right hand. Then he started getting feeling from his right arm at his elbow down. And then a month later, he started getting feeling from his left knee down. So he would have the nurses pick him up. They'd put him in a wheelchair and he'd wheel himself around the cancer ward, and he would spread good cheer to all the other cancer patients in there, telling them it's going to be okay and have story time, whatever. He's from Jersey, so he has a really cool accent. Well, at 7.5 months, Tom was able to stand up and walk out of the hospital, and he beat cancer and is able to walk. Fast forward through his life, 10 years later, he cut off his hand accidentally with a skill saw. He was working on a workhorse in Tahoe. The thing crashed, cut off his whole entire hand. They had to life flight him to Reno, and they sewed his hand back on. So he walks with a limp. He has a bum hand. Most positive person that you'll ever meet. He told me, he said, Elias, and this is before I stopped drinking, he's like, you're going to throw your life away to drinking. And he's like, I'm grateful just to be able to stand up and walk every single day. Right? I want you guys to really let that sink in, right? He's grateful for the smallest thing, being able to stand up, right? And he has a list that he goes through every single day that no matter what, he's looked at his life and said, I am so grateful for every single thing that I have, my voice, my ability to drive, all these things that I'm doing within my life. So take that time and really get centered, like Carmen was saying, but all the things that you're grateful for, all the things that you're hopeful for, all the things that bring you so much joy in your life, right? Babe, if you can hear me, I love you. Right? Like express and share that love and be that person, because it means so much. Because when you express gratitude and you're in gratitude, it's a whole different feeling. So Carmen, thank you. I got some goosebumps from your story. So I really appreciate you sharing that. Really
Absolutely. And when you're writing them down, start them off. Like, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm driving X and X car, or I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm closing 5 deals a month easily and effortlessly, just and say it and read it to yourself as cheesy as it sounds in front of the mirror and get excited. So that's it.
Yeah. So people thought I was crazy because I'd be driving and I'd be saying my gratitude list, and I'd be taking this line that Tony Robbins said, because I was a public speaker for years. And Tony Robbins said before he got on stage, he would say, I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as I can by giving me the energy, the strength, the brevity, and the humor, whatever it takes to get these people to change their lives today. And I'd say that shit over and over and over. When the time to get on stage, I was ready, beyond ready, because I put myself in that state. I said it over and over again. I wrote my gratitude list. And you know what? That is one thing that I'm going to take away from our sessions. So that's something I can get better on, is getting back to what really helped me succeed in my business career. So you guys, shout out to everyone. Anybody else want to build on that?
Yeah. Speaking of, you mentioned the power of the subconscious mind is a really good book. It's really talks about reprogramming. That's how you create your life, through your subconscious mind. That's everything is controlled by that. So if we can reprogram that, when we start by, like you said, living a grateful life, living in gratitude, not just being grateful. I used to have a gratitude journal, and I used to do this exercise and write down every week 5 things I'm grateful for. And that just helps you to remain positive, keep counting your blessings. Typically, people who live in gratitude are not negative people. So you're continually attracting things to you because you're vibing on that frequency. You're always grateful. So that's just so imperative to, and so I'm glad I got this reminder today. I want to pull out that journal again.
That's right, you guys. And a lot of the stuff of what I've found over the last couple of days is kind of just a reminder, like back to some of the things that I used to do, or getting an idea that, from my head into paper, into a plan. So I really like it. When I was 19 years old, my first sales job, The guy made me read 5 books in 30 days in order for me to get 3 suits. He bought me my first 3 suits. I was like, oh, this is great. I'm looking sharp, 19 years old. I had hair down to my belly button. They made me cut my hair off and become like a true businessman. But one of the books was called Psycho Cybernetics. It's by an old author named Maxwell Maltz. And it just really talked about your mind being a mechanism and what you're feeding it and what you're putting into it. It was a book that was a game changer in my life. And so Janita, thank you for the recommendation. Let's hop back into the equities. Go ahead. Anybody else? I'm sorry.
Well, I wanted to piggyback on what we're talking about a little bit. And
Yeah, please.
the first 5 years of my real estate career, I practiced yoga and meditation religiously every single day. I even had alarms in my phone to set aside for 15 minutes of meditation 3 times a day. So I would do it in the morning, in the afternoon, and then at night. And I don't believe that there was ever a time that I was more connected to myself, my body, my emotions, my energy, more than that time. And I really want to get back to that. So that's something I'm going to incorporate into my routine again. But essentially we're writing the gratitude down with a pen and paper to be able to, in our mind, generate the feelings of gratitude. So for me, it's more like, I'm not even going to write it down. I'm just going to sit there and close my eyes and think about those things that I'm grateful for, to be able to generate those feelings of gratitude and good positive feelings of my life. And when I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, I'm sitting there visioning how I want my life to look like. How do I want to show up for my clients, for my family? How do I want to move throughout my day? What kind of energy do I want to bring to my teammates and to the office when I'm interacting with other people? And I kind of just monitor that energy and I just kind of watch it. And then I know when I'm ready to go for the day, when I get the chills going up my spine and that spark of energy just kind of takes over. And I know that I'm fueled and I'm energized and I'm ready to go for the day. And so, the mind can't differentiate between what's real and what's fake. The mind really cannot tell the difference. So if you're sitting there with your eyes closed for 15 minutes in the morning and you're just thinking about all these things like, yeah, I look badass in my new Tesla. I'm going to look so good, in my work attire. I'm going to be killing it. I'm going to spread that gratitude wherever I go and share that upliftment with whoever I come in contact with. Just like Elias said, he'd chant that thing in his head every single day about how many people he was going to help, and whoever he'd come into contact with, he would help them in some sort of a way. It's all about just generating those feelings inside your own mind, and your mind will literally believe it. And then you just take that and run with it and milk it for as long as you can. And another person that I listen to a lot on YouTube is called Abraham Hicks. And she's a big believer of teaching the laws of the universe. And
She's amazing. Sorry.
She's an OG. She is the master. I still to this day, if I'm not in a good mood or if I feel funky, I'll throw one of her free YouTube videos on and she will get me in alignment with a couple of words. So and just reprogramming your mind to stay in that mode for as long as you can. And if you waver or if you fall off or if you have a bad day, it happens and it's okay. Just get back on it and just try generating those good feelings again for yourself and just watch what happens.
I love it. And you guys, if you guys have any people that you like to listen to or any YouTube videos, feel free to post it in the chat there. And remember this, you guys, and we're going to move on. Remember that you guys control the operating system, right? You guys are your software, right? You put that in. So you guys do all of your updates. And maybe your update needs to be, I need to get myself from, the checkup from the neck up, and I need to do some things. So control your operating system to make sure that you're running at your peak performance. So you guys love this shit. I didn't know we were going to go down that path, but I'm still glad that we did. Like I said earlier on, if my life was good as it could possibly be in 2021, I would. Doing this exercise is supposed to energize you. And so even take this a step further. We tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in a year. but underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 or 10 years. The people who you are today in this business is going to be vastly different than the people that you're going to be in the next couple of years. You guys are going to grow. You guys are going to have challenges. You guys are going to succeed and provide for your families in ways that you guys never even thought. And so really to start thinking about the big path down the road. 2 more tasks before we get to the big one. The next step is the process, and this is important. It is, I want you to write down, like I said, it doesn't have to be right now. I'm going to send this to everybody. I want you to write down 20 reasons why your goals are an absolute must for you, right? I don't want you to stop at 8, 13, or 19. Force yourself to get to 20. Why your goals are an absolute must for you, right? What are all the things that are important for you to do with this goals, and why do you want to do it? By doing so, you'll need to dig deep within yourself, and the answers you find will provide tons of motivation, because we often do more for others than we do for ourselves. I want you to think about and write down who you'll achieve these goals for, whose lives and benefit you, whose lives will benefit when you complete these goals. What would it mean to those people if you fall short? And really, really think about that. And let's think about this from our consumer standpoint, right? We talk a lot about generational wealth and what that means to our clients, right? It says power subconscious. Okay, perfect. So when we think about generational wealth, when we talk to a client about generational wealth, it's like them purchasing a home right now is going to have such a positive effect down the road on their children, on the stability, the self-esteem of their children. If they're kids, they know that they have that stable life, that stable home. They go off to college, they come back, they're figuring out their life, they have a home they can come back to. Then they're off to their own lives and start their career and build their families. Then down the road, they inherit that property that their family invested in 2021 that has now built them wealth for their children, right? So it's like, how many people did that one purchase affect? So I want you to think about your goals and think about, how are these goals going to affect all the people around me? How is that going to make their lives better? What's it going to mean to them? I have a son, so I have a huge motivation in being able to give back to him and share with him and provide him a life of abundance, so he doesn't have to go without shelter when he's older like I did when I was a kid, that he doesn't have to know what struggle was like I did when I was a kid. So I want you guys to really write down what the 20 reasons are for you to hit your goal and the absolute must for you. Your daily number and how to put this all into action. And I want to think about your goals in a big, great, grand view right now, the macro. You've set your goals, you've set your motivation. It's time to make this happen. How do you do that? Identify a daily number. Like I said yesterday on our call, you guys, this is about taking millimeter steps every single day to give you a completely different direction in your business. Changing small things over the long term are going to give you a completely different outcome. So think about this on a very small scale. Identify what your daily number is. This is a contact sport, and so you've got to make sure that you're setting a daily goal for yourself. It says here, having worked with, this is from Tom Ferry, having worked with agents for 30 plus years, I've learned a good number of you rely on for every 50 conversations you have with people, you'll create one closed transaction. So let's really think about this, you guys, and think about this from a grand view. So now you need to apply that number to your goals. Multiply how many transactions you need to achieve in 2021 by 50, right? So if I have a goal, if I want to do 20, then I'm going to, if I say I want to do 20 transactions, then I'm going to multiply that by 50. I've used this as an example for 24 closings. 24 closings times 50 gives me 1,200 contacts I need to make in order for me to get to my goal. Divide that number by 10 months. It says here, not by 12 months, by 10 months, to give yourself some time for vacation and time off. So I took that 1,200 and divided it by 10 to give me 120. That's how many conversations you need every month to achieve that goal. And then it says here, don't stop there. With the 5 days of the week, approximately 4 hours per month, 4 weeks per month, you've got 20 working days every single month. So divide that 120 by 20 and you'll find your daily number, 6 conversations. You guys, when you think about it in a very, very granular way, 6 conversations is an absolute doable goal every single day. But what we tend to do is we put prospecting off. And I know it happens to the best of us. We have other things come up in our life, have other things come up in our schedule. But I think that you guys need to have a bite-sized chunk every single day that you can take. Because by a show of hands, or let's just have a conversation around this, how many people think that they can hit 6 conversations every single day? Please raise your hand if you think 6 conversations is a doable goal every single day. Let me let somebody in here. Okay. Is there, what was that, Christina? Was that a half a hand?
Maybe
All
it could be different. With today's world too, it could be a different format, right? The 6 is really hyper focused on talking to your leads, but if you're interacting with people on Facebook, I think that acts as an interaction. And then on Facebook, you should save the people that you have sent you referrals in the past, friends and family, people you can have up to 30 people that's on your all-star list. So when their feed comes up, you'll talk to them. Personally on Instagram, I like checking how many people I interact with. On an average 24-hour span, I typically talk to about 100 different people, 100 different DMs. So that's how I've been able to generate a lot of my agent referral business. Most of my business comes from other agents if it's not through past clients. And then that's why we have enough online leads, because I don't rework the leads for the team.
And so
random, do your phones here.
And so when you think about it this way, you guys, conversations don't necessarily have to be phone calls, right? Because how many of you guys have a daily text message campaign that you send out to potential leads or nurtures? Does everyone have a text campaign that they run every single morning? Okay. How many of
Roxanne, right? Roxanne does video text her friends, like 100% SOI.
We know what Roxanne her goal is for 2021, right? 50 deals, right? I think the real estate world knows what that number is now, right? So some of you aren't sending those daily text messages out, but how many of you are communicating daily, friends, family, partners via text? Please raise your hand if you're communicating on a daily via text more than you are phone calls. Correct, right? So are your consumers, right? How many of you have watched more than 5 videos today? And it is 2:11. How many of you have watched more than 5 videos today on your phone? Please raise your hand. How many of you have sent at least 1 video to a client today? How many videos do you think that your clients are watching? Just as much, if not more than you, right? So you have to think about it, like, how are today's consumers receiving information? The old school people, the boomers, yeah, you're going to call them like, hey, glad you called, right? And it's just like, hey, I just want to talk to you, follow up. That's my father, right? He's like, my dad says, the internet, the web, see what those are, son? They're traps, right? I was like, my dad's an old Italian guy, hates computers, but like he would appreciate a phone call, right? Well, what is my text campaign message for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? Am I doing personalized videos a few times during the week? Am I making my phone calls, or am I reaching out to a certain audience on Instagram? Kate, I love what you've been doing on Instagram because you're really helping an agent show.
Yes, Kate. Yes.
Do you have that? Do you have all your stuff in like Notepad all ready to copy and paste?
Me?
Yeah. Or you just
No. I just like think about it at night before I go to bed, and then I put it in like my little notepad on my phone, and then I wake up and do it.
Okay, so I'm going to have you talk about this for a second, Kate. But here's what I want you to do: is I want you to start really documenting some of this, because I don't know how many likes and how many DMs you're getting from this, but I'm sure you're getting some activity from this and some engagement, right? So the idea is to take that engagement and then start to have some really cool videos that you're putting together. And seeing as your studio has been your car, have the videographer shoot the video inside of your car, but do like something professional, build your YouTube channel, and then we can start really pushing that out to the public, because as we move forward, I think that it's a really, really good piece that you can use for attraction. So kind of walk us through some of the things that you've been doing, if you guys haven't seen them from what Kate's been doing on social lately.
I mean, honestly, like I said in my post yesterday, I really just talk about my day from the day before, right? So like whatever happens today in my life and in real estate, I talk about tomorrow. So at night, I'm just like thinking about anything I learned or something like cool, fun, or if I'm like out showing property, like literally anything, I just post about it. I try to make it engaging as possible. So like asking a question or educational, which is what I've done for the past 2 days. And I do get a lot of people responding. And to what Kenny said, like I post this stuff and I get referrals and business from other agents, from lenders, from friends. It's not necessarily like there's like an active buyer or seller that's watching my things, but all these other people are, and that's how I'm getting business. And so that's why I consistently do it. I know it's like scary to go on and like you don't really, maybe you're shy or you don't like what you look like or you're gonna mess up, but that's just like, this is like real life, right? Like you don't have to spend a lot of time making it be perfect. And I don't, like I go on and it's maybe 1 to 2 takes and I'm out and I'm done in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously it didn't always start like that, but you have to start somewhere. And like honest, no one cares. No one cares. People just want to support you. Like if they're your friend on Instagram, they just want to support you. So I would say just get out there and do it.
Yeah, don't overanalyze yourself. We spoke about this yesterday. Paralysis analysis. Sometimes we just get stuck in overanalyzing when you just have to take that step and you have to get outside of your comfort zone. And sometimes you got to take a gamble. Do I care if everyone likes my shit? No. What I care about is that one person in the crowd bobbing their head that got the song. That's all I'm looking for, right? That one person like, all right, I feel that, right? That's all I'm looking for, right? So if you guys all can post content that gives one person bobbing to your beat and bobbing to your song, that's all that matters. That's all that really matters.
Eric's friends, they all mimic him. Eric, King.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They all mimic how he shows a home, and that's so awesome.
That's brand. I mean, literally, like your friends are really showing what you're doing, but when his friends are hanging out, they're probably making fun of him. But you see, like that's his brand. How can you, if you had 2 choices to work with, you work with the really cute guy, or like whoever, right? That's when you have a brand.
Totally. And that's what's cool is that all of his friends know that he sells real estate, right? So it's like they're talking about, they're making fun of him, but it's like he's down with that, right? And that, the cute bedroom, right? I thought that was gold, right? Like, and Kenny said that before for the people that weren't on. Kenny, what's the brand again? Your brand is what?
Is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And for Eric, like he started doing social media like, after he joined the team this year. But I was telling him like, hey, your stuff is kind of boring. Like, do more videos, but also talk about the property. Imagine everyone's your client. Talk like an inspector. That's more interesting than look at this amazing kitchen. Well, great. I mean, I can go on Redfin and look at 20 amazing kitchens right now. But this is quartz.
Dang, you calling me out, Kenny? That's what I.
Yeah, that's. No, but this is leveling up. Like, okay, this is quartz. This is shaker style. You see the subway tiles. This is the stick on. This is not. You see the finishes here, the new lighting. Like, you start observing those things, and then your audience shows that you're knowledgeable. But that takes a lot of practice and experience. And this is why when you're out on the field, you realize it's gone by 24 hours. So like you're just constantly upping your game every single day.
Yeah. Who cares if you fuck up? Who cares if you fumbled over your words? Like Melody and I shot a whole professional video, and I was like, I said San Leandro, but the house was in Castro Valley. And Melody was like, no, let's just get it out there. I was like, no, we brought it back. But like, we had a professional photographer, but it's like, sometimes when you're shooting a video, it's just like, just get something out versus nothing at all, right?
Like, if you don't know what it is, ask them like, hey, what, I forgot, like, ask people for their feedback. Like Kate does a good job of that. Like, hey, I'm not thinking about this area. What should I buy? What should I do? Like, just random stuff. This week I bought a 49-inch monitor yesterday, and a ton of people, like 6 people hit me up like, dude, I have the same monitor. I was like, I didn't think anyone had 49-inch monitor. This thing is literally 4 feet wide. But I was like, wow, there are people out there. Now we build a connection. Like nothing to do with real estate. But it's funny, the more you post, the more you learn about other people, and then you kind of building your own tribe of people that all have the same like 49-inch monitors.
Yeah, and what I was thinking about, there's so many people at home with like kids, and like you have, your elementary school kids, like having your kids like do the interview as like a admin moderator, but like, hey, Donna, I want to ask you some questions about your real estate experience, and have them like in a cute little like, business suit, and they have their glasses on, they have their little folder, and like doing an interview with you as a real estate agent, but the questions are asked from the child, right? Like think about that. That would be fun. That would be cool. It's like something different, right? Because any video I've ever posted about Silas, that dude is a freaking rock star, right? He's a celebrity, right? He gets way more stuff than I get, or more likes. So, you know, there's tons of things that we can be building, but at the end of the day, try, right? Just try and see what happens. We spoke with the Spivey team yesterday, and they made a big goal. They're on today. Their big goal is to hit $1 million as a team. Well, if you guys have seen the Hello Neighbor series, which is a great series, I said, you know what? There should be tons and tons of other things that you guys are doing. Past clients, your experience working with this, like there should be all these legs of your video library to continuously promote and provide value. For Christina, if you guys watch Christina's stories, she's became like this new development specialist. But if you don't follow her and those videos aren't staying there, you might not know that. So we're encouraging Christina, because she wants to be on this giant big billboard out in her area, you know, to become like this new development specialist, right? Like to be able to document that and share and updates. Hey, you guys, just met with this builder, or I'm sitting here doing an interview with John, who's the builder from Toll House, who was just about to launch a project here in Brentwood. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about how this idea sparked, when the units are going to be available, and what the project looks like and what the process looks like? Fuck, that's content, right? That's rich, right? So Christina has this great energy and contagious vibe right now. I think like that's something that she can really, really tap into. Jen, for example, Jen's going to be launching like almost like a mom's group, calling it the Mother Hustlers, right? And the idea behind that is something that's going to be in the works over time, is being able to help sponsor and take young aspiring entrepreneur moms and helping them, show them the way and get them exposed into real estate and build up their careers. And so I think there's a ton of opportunities for you guys from content to really, really start building. So Kate, I appreciate you sharing. Anybody else want to talk about things that they've done recently or in the past that have had a lot of traction on social media? Go ahead, Donna.
So from all this, I think being a risk taker, because like yesterday I saw Kenny post that in regards to about realtors and having that objection question, can you reduce your commission and yada, yada, right? We get faced with that all the time. And so when I posted that, I took a moment, I was like, should I put this out there? Because it was like, you know, that's not stuff that I do, right? But when I did, oh my gosh, I got so many DMs are like, I didn't know you guys did, you know, they don't see the behind the scenes, right? Like you're saying, they probably watch too much HGTV or $1 Million Listing, thinking that, oh, we get paid like just, that's it, right? Once it's so easy, get in a contract and they close and then we get paid this, but they don't see everything behind the scenes, because we sometimes like literally are grinding the midnight oil on that too. So I had another girlfriend that DM'd me, she goes, you know what? I'm not ready to buy a house yet, but I know I will. And when I do, you're going to be my realtor. I'm like, you know what, girl, I got you. I'm going to be there for you all the time. And so those are the things, because people don't know that. And so be authentic with your information that you send out to them. And it's like, be a risk taker. I just say, you know, don't think what people are really caring about what you're going to do. Because that was out of my comfort zone to post something like that. But at the end of the day, it came back and it was really good rapport. People was like, at the end of the day, I was afraid, okay, so does that make we sound like some things like I was telling this, but then the feedback was really good. I was really surprised. And so I took a risk for me.
You know, when we were leaving Climb Real Estate, there were some things that Kenny was doing. And then, you know, there was companies that didn't want to align with Kenny because of what he was putting on his fucking social media. He's like, it's my social media. If you don't like it, don't freaking watch it. You know what I mean? It's my social media. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm not out here breaking the law. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. So sorry that you missed out on $150 million of business to your company and the fastest growing team in the Bay Area. Sorry. So, you know why? Because you want to judge somebody's story. It's like this, right? I don't care. You know? So it's like, and I think Melody hit it on when we first started. It's like, I don't need to worry about what everyone thinks about me. All I need to find is my tribe, right? Look at Eric. Eric has a certain type of people that he's been working with. Like Jen has a niche in the people that she's been working with. There's people that she says, you know what, I just don't feel like I vibe or click with this person. I'm not going to work with them, right? You'll find your tribe. the more authentic you are. And it's about being different and thinking differently. And I love that you said that. And it brought up something I wanted to share with you guys. I talked about this yesterday, and I thought about thinking differently, right? Tons of realtors out there, tons of realtors that say the same exact thing. What are some common real estate words that people say? Integrity, honest, trustworthy. What are some, what's that?
It was those three.
Right? And you see that on business cards, and you see that in there, and you see that all the time. I encourage you to all think differently. And I want to share this with you, and I'll show you guys the backstory of this in just a moment. So I want to share this with you, and I'm going to full screen this.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Why do you think I play that, you guys?
You know what? When I saw that, I literally, when I was having a conversation with Kenny before I met him on IG and DM, I go, you know what? You remind me like Elon Musk. You are like, and Kenny and I had that conversation. It's like, you know what? We think, I think you had a test, and you guys both think alike as well too. So I was thinking when I was doing that, I had a conversation with Kenny. I was like, you know what? When I see you, I go, the first thing that comes to mind is like, you think like Elon Musk. I seriously think you're like a leader. And there you go. Kenny is proof that he's just like, he thinks out of the box and leading us to where we are today. So
He's
very
a he's an ENTJ, so we had like 2 personality tests of 16 of them. So Elon Musk and Steve Jobs are the same, and then Bill Gates is a little nicer, just one that's different. But you know, we're like textbook, just more entrepreneurial. So it's really important to kind of know your personality types and kind of work your zone.
What else? What are some other thoughts on that video? And Melody, why do you think it hit you the way it hit you?
I just was looking at the video, and then I was looking at Kenny, and then I was looking at the video, and then I thought, I'm a part of something that's never been done before. And I just got emotional.
Totally. And you guys, I feel the same way. It's like people ask me like, are you always on? I'm like, no, it's just I'm excited about my life. I'm excited about what I have the opportunity to do. I'm excited to have the opportunity to contribute and to be a part of your guys' journey. The one thing I want you guys to think, say again?
I have a purpose.
That's right. So when I think about that video, and it means a lot to me, I've used this in my career over the last 10 years. There was nothing about product. And I want you to really think about that. Nothing about that video talked about product or here's our new phone, here's our new this. And if you watch any of Apple's advertisements, very few and far between are they actually talking about product. What they're talking about is a feeling, right? Real estate is a feeling and how it's going to affect people's lives. But if you say, oh, I'm integrity and I'm honest, I'm okay, cool. Like you're supposed to be. But what is something real and something different, something authentic and something different? So when you start thinking about your identity and your brand and your vision in this business, like I dare you guys to think differently. And I want you guys to really dig within yourself and be like, shit, what are some things? Or how can I be different, right? Like you look around and things that we've accomplished as a team, like so many people didn't think that we could accomplish what we've accomplished. When we talked to our business coach yesterday, she's like, you guys are like at the tipping point of an IPO. People are going to look back at this 5 years from now and be like, oh my God, look at what they did in 5 years. Look what we've done in freaking 11 months, right? So it's really, really important for you guys to dive in and really get into a point where you're okay being different. be okay with being different. You guys, what I want to do now is I kind of want to go around the room, have an open forum before we duck out today. I think there's a lot of good takeaways. I'm going to share the 8 equities with you in the chat channel for training and videos. And if you guys have other stuff that you want to put in the channel as well, feel free. But I love this part of it because I want to go around the room and I want to hear what some of your takeaways are from today's session. We have enough people. I got enough time. We can go around the room. So let's just go around the room. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what some of your takeaways are from today and what are some things that you want to apply moving forward. We'll hear from you, Christina.
I totally love what Carmen said about really speaking into existence. And just a couple days ago, she had reached out to me and sent me her, goals and to hold her accountable. And I love what she created. I love that she said, hey girl, this is what I'm gonna do. And I need for you to hold me accountable. And it was just like, bam, in my face. And then I was like, oh, I need to do it too. So it just really, the tribe, what Melody talks about, just like everything that's here and being part of what Kenny has really created. And now we're just like a piece of this mega machine. I look back too, I think I was like number 18 or 19. And it just seems like that should have been like, oh, a startup number from a long time ago, but it's literally this year. And where we've gone from that moment to like, holy shit, like 80 people, like what the. So I feel just honored, privileged. And at the same time, I mean, the hustle and the work is all there. All we have to do is just like, see the light, like it's there, let's go.
Yeah, I love it. And if you guys weren't on the first session of this week, we talked about getting yourself a workout buddy, right? Get yourself an accountability person. Like Christina, we talked about our gratitude list earlier. How cool would it be to, write your gratitude list? And that's something that you're posting on IG Live. Like, hey girl, let's go over our gratitude list right now. You got the camera out. You're like, okay, cool. Share yours, share mine. And you're sharing that out to the world. Like that shit's good. I don't see anybody doing stuff like that. So I think you're onto something with your daily IG lives and just having conversations. What's your goal for today? Hey, I'm out on my walk. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing an IG live with Melody. We're talking about our goals for the day and sharing that because it's not being done. So I love how you're thinking, Christina. Good stuff. Let's go over to Kevin. Kevin, what were some of your biggest takeaways from today's session?
I just love all the ideas. There's a lot of good ones. I had started incorporating my son into some home tours that I did, just going out and shooting some videos with him. He was kind of like this, he was like hidden and then he'd pop up and like you just add some like kind of creative fun to the videos. So I like your idea of actually having them interview me. So then, it really just doubles down on, yeah, who I am. I'm a family guy. I live in suburbia and let's sell some $1.5 million homes. Let's go.
That's right, man. They're in their little suits and they're going to ask questions as a kid would ask it. But you give a kid a talent like that, they love stuff like that. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. I love it. How about for you, Miss Pamela? Pamela, what were some of your takeaways from today's session? You're muted. She's like, I was on a roll too. I saw the energy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Set your goals high and don't stop until you get there. That was from yesterday also. And the other one is what you think you become, what you feel you attract, and what you imagine you create.
Wow.
That's Buddha, yeah.
Ooh, I love that. That was strong. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Joaquin, how about for you, my man? What were some of your biggest takeaways from today's sesh?
Yeah, for me, it's just always to underline gratitude. That's so important, right? Every morning. Typically for me, I learned about gratitude was from pain, right? Whether it's you lose somebody, break up, you find gratitude in that moment. So for me, it's really important. It's a great reminder, not just for me, but really everybody in this room, and to kind of spread that out because it will bring back good karma and good energy. And then just having that permission, give yourself permission to be who you are, right? Just kind of let the world know who you are, and like you said, the world's gonna find you. And in my own way, sometimes I feel, man, I got some crazy ideas, and I gotta start at least letting them go. And like you said, as long as one person could catch on to them and you know, they could relate to you, or at least relate to the idea, maybe not to you, but to the idea. I think it's all worth it. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that aspiring MC that's looking for one person to go like this in the crowd, and they got it.
Yeah.
It was one lyric that hit him, and he was like, "Damn, man, that kid's got bars." Like that's how I equate it. I just want one person to bob their head. That's it. So good stuff, Joaquin. I love it. Melody, how about for you? What were some of your biggest takeaways from today's session?
You know, I really love the idea that I have the team to tap into, and then I also have all these different trainers and all these different workshops to tap into on my social media and online. But I've never had a business planning retreat like this one that's hit home and resonated with me so much. I know for sure Christina and I had nothing like this at J. Rockcliffe. That's for damn sure. So it's been, you know, it's been emotional, it's been fun, it's been exciting. I've learned a lot about myself and what my goals are. Apparently, my goals are a lot larger than I thought they would have been if, you know, we weren't doing this business planning. So definitely excited, and I'm just excited to be a part of this new family. You know, I definitely do feel like you guys are a part of my family. So super grateful just like for everyone showing up and collaborating together this week. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Big hugs for you. And you guys, like, you know, when I think about this, it's like, I don't think of myself as the average everyday, like real estate manager, right? I've had those, I've had branch managers. When I came to Climb, I was like, I don't want to be a fucking branch manager. I don't want to sit here and have agents come into my door and say, can you review these documents for me and do file review? I'm like, I will die if I have to do that. It's like putting me into a cubicle. So I always pride myself in wanting to truly be different in this game, right? I feel that there was a lot of same managers. And when Kenny and I joined forces, like we can do things completely different in our way. We can dress the way that we want to. We can convey our message. And so I always feel like being authentic in our business and for myself is super important. So, you know, thanks for sharing, Melody. I really appreciate it. Let's go over to Jeff. Jeff, I know you hopped on a little bit later, but were there any gems or key takeaways from you?
Definitely, yeah. So I did hop on a little late, but I feel like the universe had me hop on exactly when I needed to. So a big takeaway was that authenticity of being yourself. When I went to Howard, a teacher told me, he was like, yeah, you're a tall Black man. So, you know, in order to get by in this world, you're probably going to have to blur your edges. And that never sat right with me. And that's what I always was like a nervous feeling jumping into real estate was like, am I going to have to blur my edges to get by? As you can see in my background, I'm really an activist. I'm like a power to the people type of person. So that kind of made me nervous. But being here, it reiterated in myself, like, no, be yourself, be who you are, love you. Your love for yourself is going to give light to someone loving themselves a little bit more. So I think I hopped on at the perfect time.
Man, well, we appreciate it. I love that, the people's agent, right? Like, I love that, and I think I can see that really growing and developing that brand, the people's agent. I think that's great. So appreciate you being here, Jeff. Kate, I know that you were hopped on a little bit later, but, you know, appreciate the gems. Key takeaways from you in the time that you were here with us.
I hopped on really late, so I feel like it was just me talking. I think one tip that I could give for like social media posting and stuff is also have someone to hold you accountable for that as well. Almost every morning I call Jack and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about talking about like this on my Instagram. What do you think? And he'll help me. He'll be like, no, that sounds dumb, or maybe do this, or maybe do that. So again, maybe have someone hold you accountable for social media.
Cool. I love that. I love that. And Weston Means Business, what were some key takeaways from today's session from you?
So for me, I think just two really simple things. Number one, effective time management, you know, planning your schedule out properly, making sure you do the things you need to do to be successful. And then number two was work-life balance. So like the 8 equities, just making sure every facet of your life is kind of like fulfilled, you know.
Love it. I love it, my man. Good stuff. Joey, how about for you?
Congrats on your escrow, Wes.
Thank you, bro. Say what?
Congrats on your escrow, Mr. Columbia.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Wait, Mr. Columbia, did you close up in Columbia, or did you get in contact in the city of Columbia?
Yeah, dude, it's like out there by Sonora. We got
Yeah,
this B&B.
Is that Calaveras County?
I think it's
It's an Angels
Tuolumne.
camp.
Yeah, dude, good for you,
Tuolumne.
man. See, we go where the business is. People
Well,
say,
yeah,
"I
it was a family referral, so I was like, you know what, I'll drive out there for her.
cool, man. What a great drive out there too. It's beautiful. Congratulations, Wes.
Thank you.
Joey, let's hear from you. Biggest takeaways from today's sesh.
Today, just to tap into your mind and to keep telling yourself what you need to do and set up your goals. I think one thing I got from Kate was to maybe write things down the night of, so you could be ready for tomorrow and be ready for the next day.
That's right, man. I love that. Love that. And thanks for sharing that, Kate. Janita.
The biggest takeaway was I know this is a business planning, but this is more like life coaching on this call. But when we were talking about manifesting, and can you hear me?
Totally, yeah.
Okay. Manifesting and visualizing. That's a reminder for me because I love talking about that and I live by that. And one of the quotes, can I share a quote really quick?
I would be so grateful if you shared it.
In regards to manifesting, visualizing, your mind must arrive at your destination before your life does. It's important to understand that what you desire must first exist as conscious ideas before they become realities, which is the law of mentalism. So this was a reminder for me to
Can you say that again?
really, yeah.
Can you say that all again for the gram? I'm going to press record. Go ahead.
Your mind must arrive at your destination before your life does.
Man, that's powerful.
It is important to understand that what you desire must first exist as conscious ideas before they become realities. The law of mentalism.
That is strong. I love that. Absolutely. Love that. So powerful. So Janita, yeah, I know a lot of this has turned into all-encompassing life, looking at our life and health and spirituality and mental.
Right.
Because I personally, and since I was the one that put this together, I would be freaking bored going over numbers every single day.
Yeah.
You guys, there's workshops out there, there's worksheets. We put them in there. Julie's spreadsheets in there. You guys can do all the work, do all the numbers, as long as you're getting that stuff from your head onto paper and putting together an action plan. But there's so much more that goes behind that. So Janita, thank you so much for being here and your participation. And that was incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Mr. Spivey, let's hear from you, my man. Biggest takeaways from today's session. All right, we'll go over to Dewey. Dewey, biggest takeaways from today's session.
That we can all cry together. Melody, wherever you are, I mean, it's like what Christina said. They really, like, I think I told you before, but me and Jen, like, we sometimes, chop it up, and I'm like, it's so crazy how far this has gone, or like how far this has gotten, and how far we will go. But I was just here to, be supportive and add where I can. But
we appreciate you.
And then I got to get back on my my 7 equities and my affirmations. But that's basically about it.
Good stuff, dude. I appreciate it. Omar, how about for you, my man? Biggest takeaways from today's sesh?
So for me, I mean, there's just so many things like we've been covering over the past couple of days. But for today, I think.
Hold on, Omar. Something's going on with your mic, bro. You got to get closer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear now.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, just so many things that you guys have gone over the past couple of days just put a lot of things into perspective for me. Just want to first off just say thank you guys for putting this together. I've never ever been a part of anything like this, like business planning. I've been in sales for years, and a lot of times it's every man for themselves type of situations. So just to be a part of a team and see how everybody thinks, right? But my main thing that I took away from today was, like I said, when you feel good, you do good, and just focusing on the seven equities of life and just staying in gratitude. No day is promised. So if I just put that into perspective and just do do what I can. And then lastly, just being authentic and just not giving a fuck. Oh, sorry, excuse my language. I saw the kid there. Just not caring, you know, like I think with me, I overanalyze sometimes. And so I want to do something and then I don't do it. And then later on, it's like, I should have done it. Cause you know, like just stopping all that and just being myself, putting it out there and just failing as I go, you know, some things will pop and some won't, but just putting myself out there is what my big takeaway is, man.
That's right, man. Good stuff, Omar. Great stuff. How about for you, Brian? Biggest takeaways from today's session?
Definitely, yes. Today was super helpful. I think everyone here is so amazing. A huge takeaway for me is just truly being open and honest with myself and being who I really am. Before, probably last year even, so I'm gay, and a lot of times, like in my last workplace, I would have never told anyone. I would have, you know, just really suppressed it. It was something that caused me a lot of, you know, anxiety and stress. But just this year, I've really just tried to focus more on being open and honest about who I am and sharing that with people. And, you know, it's something that has truly helped me more this past year. And even just like recently watching everyone share their stories and stuff, you know, I actually started going on TikTok and just documenting like a day in the life of a new real estate agent. And something that was really inspirational for me was I just got like, it was just one comment from this random stranger saying, hey, like I'm thinking about doing real estate too. And this is really inspirational. And just being able to help like one person out and inspire them, that means the world to me, you know?
Dude, and you know what, man, it takes a lot of courage to do what you've done and like to be able to be open about your lifestyle. And man, you are going to be in an environment here where you can feel supported and be whoever the heck you want to be, my man. And I'm going to give Brian a shout out. We had a role-playing session for his buyer's presentation. He watched a few videos. It was his first time rolling through it, and he absolutely crushed it. I mean, really like knocked it out of the park. So great stuff, man. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you feel comfortable, and we really appreciate your transparency.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Terry. Terry, what were some of your biggest takeaways from today's session?
Definitely the manifestation. This is something that we, Pamela always had us do. I actually still have my $1 million check. I'm still waiting. Yesterday we were so pumped up. I was going down some of our goal sheets and it was like done, done, done. And it's like, wait a minute, why are these two things sitting here? You know, so the reminder to get back into doing that is
that's right. That's right.
I mean,
you wrote that check. No more waiting, right? This is the time we're getting, right? We're getting. We're not waiting for that. We're getting. We're gonna try new things this year. We're gonna expose ourselves in different ways, and we're just gonna really, really get after it. I think you guys have a pretty good understanding of how you're gonna conquer your business this year and beyond. So, really good stuff, Terry. Appreciate you being on here. Kim, biggest takeaways from today's session?
You said Kim?
Yep, I did.
Okay. Well, my biggest takeaway is like mindset is everything. So it's like as long as you like yourself and believe in your journey and have people to support you, it really doesn't matter what people who don't care about you anyways think about you.
Yeah,
That's really powerful.
Shouldn't be doing business with them anyways, right? If you don't like me and like who I am, then fuck it.
Yeah, because I grew up with like low self-esteem, and I guess we would just worry about like how to be more liked, and that kind of like helps us, or that kind of forces us to live in this box of what we think people will like of us, and it just feels uncomfortable. So just like the whole takeaway is just like be genuine, and that's really awesome. And I am growing into myself just because of the support that you guys are putting on the team, and like how much like effort you guys are showing, like the rewards it comes with being yourself, and you're really inspirational, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Appreciate you being here, Kim. I really do. Jen, how about for you? What were some of your takeaways from today's session? All right, we'll come back to Jen. Let's go over to Martha. Martha, what were some of your takeaways from today's session? Okay, we'll go over to Amanda. Amanda, what were some of your takeaways from today's session?
So I definitely need to be more active on social media. So I feel like I know what I want to do, but again, I've held myself back. So I love being part of this team because it sounds like being different. In the past, in other companies, I feel like it would hold me back, but with this company, I feel like it sets me apart. So to piggyback off of Brian, I'm also a gay woman. So, and I have multiple sclerosis for 3 years. So in the past, I've tried to kind of hide that and shove it to the side. But if I think about it, I might, bring in maybe a clientele that might be disabled people looking for a home or certain things like that. So I think instead of me thinking about it closing doors, you guys have really inspired me to, use it as leverage and, really kind of work that angle. So I think people appreciate when you are real and honest, but at the same time, I'm scared to do that. So.
And you know what? It's going to be scary. And like for you to have, MS, like to be able to talk about like, hey, today I'm feeling tired, I'm sore, I'm this and that, but like, look at what I accomplished. Like, right, I dug deep and I was able to do this and I was able to fight through that. So I think there's power in that, Amanda. And I think people are going to appreciate that because they see that you're being real. And like I said, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes there's pain and there's some struggles along the way. Sometimes you're cleaning out sewers, but it's like, that's part of this, right? And so tell your journey your way. And we're here to 100% support you. So I appreciate the transparency. So thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. And I do, I'm excited because you do appreciate the good days. So with the gratitude, that is so important. And I have gotten away from that. I need to get back to it. But I definitely appreciate the good days. The good days are good ones. So thank you very much for everything. You guys are very inspiring. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for being here. Carmen, I know you had to hop out for a second. We're just going around the room and just asking what people's biggest takeaways were from today's sesh.
Yeah. God, I'm sorry. I've kind of been in and out because I had to take a couple and whatnot. But I'll say, just again, reminding myself, getting that, writing down the and being grateful, the gratitude above everything. And just staying consistent with that.
Yeah, no, I love it. And thank you for your story. And I think that it really hit a nerve with a lot of us. And it helped me to remind myself, like, it's something I used to do every single morning. And I think that's something we can all start to get back to or incorporate into our daily lives. So Carmen, I really appreciate it. Let's go over to Donna. Donna, what were some of your key takeaways from today's sesh?
My key takeaway was be you, be authentic. We are in the forefront of this and we're so blessed to be a part of it. And people are watching us. So and at the end of the day, show them because that's what's attracting them. They were like I was telling Kenny, I mean, he doesn't go out there and recruit these. It's attraction. It's because there's a reason why. And it's like we were saying, I mean, like going back to Amanda, if we have a huge team, if you ever one day that you need something, reach out. We're always, and being a part of a different company before too, been to many business planning, and all that as well too. This is really authentic and really different from any other one that I've ever been to. So we touch so many bases, and I think that's my key takeaway is we're different, and so that's what makes us special, and so we really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for that as well too. So
yeah, thanks for being here. So I saw Jack's head pop in there. We got to hear from Mr. Jack. You knew I was.
Yeah, Jack, you can't get away from this here. We'll switch.
All right, Jack, let's hear it, my man. What were some of your key takeaways from today's sesh?
Might be Elias. I was like there half part of the day. I had a buyer's consultation like right now. So I was like,
handle your business.
Haircut. You look good, Jack.
Oh, thank you. I know. I don't look like I'm homeless, so it's all good. But what's it called? Yeah, I had a buyer's consultation, but it was good. I mean, Kate does an awesome job with her social media presence and how she like lives her life and describes herself. I've been very fortunate to work with her for a long time. But yeah, so I don't know. And I saw Carmen today, and we had a great chat with farming and stuff. So it's been a good like prospecting, learning a lot from the older agents today.
All right, good. So I don't know how long you were on the call today, but any takeaways from today's call?
I wasn't on the call a lot, so I cannot say, but I mean, I'll be on tomorrow. I think it's.
Don't worry about it. Handle your business, man. Handle your business. You're busy. Love that you're talking with Carmen. Love that you're shadowing and learning from the other agents. And I'll tell you what, you guys, if you haven't met Jack, super humble, great spirit. He's been hustling since day one, since he walked onto this team. So we got high hopes for you moving forward, Jack. So keep
doing it. You kind of jump in that pool with me before we close?
Oh no, I'm ready to do it. Right in winter. Let's go.
So we have 3 more people. I don't know if you guys are available, Jen, Martha, or Julie. Any takeaways from you guys before we head out?
I want my sweater.
I just want to, so I hopped in super late. So
Okay.
I wasn't here for half the thing, but I just want to say that I think you, Elias, have a superpower. You're able to like connect with so many people and then like shape this culture that we have. So you're amazing. Yeah, and like it's always amazing to hop on one of our meeting and see so many different faces and different stories, because like I don't know, like now with shelter in place, you're kind of like at home a lot and like in a bubble, but like seeing how everyone, like there's so many different characters on the team and we're always so connected, and I really think that you have a really big role to play for this whole culture that we have. So really appreciate you, and it's always amazing to look at this.
I appreciate that, you guys. I'm super grateful for you guys. I feel like this team is such a big part of my life, and I'm really grateful. So, you know, like I always want to show up for you guys. Right? We've put a lot of planning behind the scenes, but I'll be honest with you, Kenny and I didn't want to over plan and over analyze these sessions, because then it would take the onus from being on you guys to us, and we always want these sessions to be about you guys. Sometimes we're just part of that vehicle to help you guys get where you're going. So thank you for saying that, Julia. It means really a lot to me. Kenny, any closing words before we head out, and any takeaways from the team today?
I feel like this is like group therapy.
Yeah.
From business planning, but you might this is actually way more impactful, because like, you know, the whys are really important. Like you go to Tom Ferriss Success Summit. Actually, it's a lot like that. Tom Ferriss Success Summit. I've been there 8 years in a row. On the very last day, they'll play this like music, and then like everyone puts their head down, and then they start writing their goals or close, and then people start crying. But that was the whole point. But this is like an extended. They were to like really dig deep and down. So I feel like this is an extended version of that. We know what the goals are: X amount of homes. How we're gonna get there? We already have the systems, tools, and then but really diving deep and hearing other people's stories is huge, because that's you don't hear that anywhere. Me and you were joking around today. Is like, can you imagine like Compass agents or just any company that they don't know each other? They hop in the call. They're not going to dive deep into any of it. So like here, like it's pretty cool that we've been able to build that. And it feels like the bigger the more people have added on is actually getting easier and easier, because there's more stories to tell. These are like little Netflix specials, 2-minute shows. Cause I've been watching a lot of horror shows, like 2-minute horror movies, or like, you know, every sequence is a new thing. So I feel like this is like watching TV every time I hop on there. There's always something interesting. And I see there's people that's been there a couple of times this week. Like we're more interested in what I think we truly are interested in what each other have to say. And that's really powering the culture of the team, which makes your job more fun, which makes things more easy. And then there's more trust involved. So really like tying everything together. And this has been more impactful every single day I've been on here this week. Still shocked that we're actually getting 25 people. I mean, we had 40, 30. So it's a live crowd.
We've already had over 100 people attend, and there's less than 100 people on the team. So that just goes to show there's people that are coming multiple times. And I personally have learned about you guys and learned about business planning through these sessions, right? So Jen, I know you're on the phone. Did you want to share what your takeaways were from the day?
I hopped on a little later, but I think my biggest takeaway is, yes, it's important to make money and be busy, but what is also important is giving back to ourselves and our mind and our bodies. Like, I mean, when you want to be busy on this team and you do all the right things, trust me, you will be busy, and it's going to come a day where it's going to kick you in the ass if you don't take care of yourself. And that's what's happening to me right now. So it was nice to take like a few days off ish and to kind of just like business plan and kind of get ready for the new year. So yeah, so taking care of ourselves is super important too. So don't forget, guys.
That's right. That's right. Good stuff, you guys. Well, listen, super grateful. We are going to do a pretty big event tomorrow just to kind of bring this all full circle. Might not last the whole 2 hours tomorrow, but just a way for us to kind of bring everything full circle. But I really, really appreciate you guys. Remember what I said, and remember that video about thinking differently. We are really creating a movement in the real estate community, and we're really creating a movement in business in general. So you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for representing and being here, and then sharing the story on social. I saw a couple agents in the last couple days that aren't even on our team, you know, that are other brokerages that are diving in. And so, like we said, this is an abundance mentality, not scarcity. So let's get this out on social, you guys. Share it, tag me, and let's just continue to talk about this, because it means the world to me, and I appreciate you. And Kenny, thank you for giving me this opportunity to lead with you.
I guess.
Have a great day, guys.